on a Ouija board here. We're gonna play it tonight.
It's Jordan, and welcome back to another episode. We don't really so much have gossip or drama to talk about. It's more so just terrifying. So essentially, Kenzie Ziegler and her roommate Austin went on to And They Were Roommates podcast, which is their podcast, and they were talking about paranormal experiences. That was the title of the video, but essentially they're talking all about ghosts and spirit and aliens and otherworldly things in this podcast, but they were definitely dabbling, especially Mackenzie, into the more dark magic side of things, and that was Ouija board.
Okay, so I moved to this really small house. My sister and I shared a room. My mom literally slept in a closet. It was such a small room, but we had this really weird basement. You would have to go out the back door and in a different way, and it was so cute and cozy. But I remember Maisie was like, we should do the Ouija board, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, because I also thought it was bullshit, because I was like, there's no way this is real. And we did the Ouija board for the first time. I don't know if we bought one or if we made one. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can make a Ouija board yourself.
Yes.
Personally, in my experience, I was very well educated on what a Ouija board is when I was about 6 years old, and my dad had these friends that would definitely be forewarning us, this is how you can get into contact with the other side. However, this is a very scary thing that should not be taken lightly, and ever since I was about 6 years old, every other person that I've ever come into contact with in my entire life is like, oh no, I don't fuck with Ouija boards. I do not mess with Ouija boards. Don't bring that into my house. I'm not touching one. And Kenzie Ziegler, on the other hand, has a totally different mindset towards them, which is very similar to me. And that's that I think that it's the coolest thing. I'm personally not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of spirit. I'm the one living. You are the one that is not. If you want to mess with me, I'm going to think that it's hilarious or cool. For example, in my van the other day, the locks went off 100 times in a row. The lock button, the automatic locks, and that has never happened ever before. And I was like, okay, definitely a ghost.
Seances, ghost stuff, etc. It really picked up in the US in the 1850s and 1860s. The Civil War caused around 1 million casualties. One response to that presence of death? Hundreds of spiritualism newspapers like Banner of Light. It even had a column filled with messages that claimed to be from the spirit world beyond.
And so I think the first time we did it, I was really freaked out. But after that one time we did it religiously. Nothing really happened to me that crazy. We would talk to spirits and they would freak us out and whatever. It was scary. And we would always just cut them up and burn them or something.
Interestingly enough, though, there are lots of people that believe that there's totally a scientific explanation behind the Ouija board and that it's not real at all.
How did Ouija become so overrated? We know it's powered by the psychological ideomotor effect, a type of subconscious movement that guides the responses. But that doesn't explain why this kind of crappy board is such a big part of our lives.
It was this pink little cottage house, and it was really terrifying. Wasn't it?
So cute on the outside, but after a night or two, staying the night, weird vibes.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know much about Austin personally. I don't even know his last name or anything, but is he a model? He has the coolest looking, light eyes that are a feline-esque shape. It's very cool. Also, love the sweater. But I was a little bit afraid of what Mackenzie had to say, and this video, listening to her talk about her paranormal experiences, was giving me the heebie-jeebies. This is what Mackenzie had to say.
I remember when we found this house, the people were desperate to move out. I continued to do the Ouija board. The one really scary experience that I had, Maisie would put something in a piece of paper, put it across the room, and wouldn't touch the board, and it would guess it. She'd push against one way, we'd all push against one way, and it would force us off the board. It was that type of shit would happen and it would freak me out.
What do you guys think about Ouija boards and trying to get in contact with more darker spirit? Or do you think that spirit should be labeled as like dark or light? And I personally believe there is good in all people. I don't think that anybody is born or dies evil, but that's just my own personal opinion. The creepiest part about this entire story, I think, from Mackenzie is this next part where they experienced a ghost in the house.
But I remember there was this one time that we did the Ouija board and it was in my dark ass scary room with pictures everywhere and it was just so freaky. And I had a room connected to my bedroom. I had 2 rooms connected to my bedroom, but remember the one that was like straight down the hall?
Oh, yeah. Right next to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, anytime I'd walk through it, my heart would race.
And me too. And we never talked about how we both felt that way. I had never yet like expressed the fact that like I would like feel like something's watching me when I would walk through it. So I would
that window.
I would just like kind of look down and like go quickly. And then one day I was like, I am so scared of that room. And you were like, oh, you have no idea. And I was like, oh,
you have no idea. It was such a terrifying room because it was so small and there was barely anything in it.
There was just something in there.
There was something in there for sure. And everyone felt that way.
Yeah.
Everyone. And so I would never go in that room. But I remember Maisie and I were playing the Ouija board. And since she is friends with my sister and I both, like she would take turns sleeping in both of our rooms, which was so cute.
Yeah.
And so she slept in Maddie's room that night. And we were talking to this person that was like a little girl. She was like 5. She couldn't spell very well. And it was really cute, but it was like getting to the point where we were like, oh, this like feels like the energy just feels really weird. So we like said goodbye. We forgot to rip it up, which you have to do when you make them yourself. Like you need to rip them up and either burn them or throw them out. But she went and slept in Maddie's room and I'm just peacefully laying in my room. I have like my starlights on. It's so cozy and it's so silent. And I hear a noise. This like freaks me out every time I talk about it. I like hear a noise and my bed was in the corner of the room and my room was huge. Remember?
Yeah.
My room was really big. So like it's just like, I don't know why I put my bed in the corner because it's just so scary.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It's a big room.
I'm like sleeping. I'm facing the wall. I hear a noise and I turn over and I see, I'm not lying. Like when I'm not lying. I see a little girl sprint so fast down the hall and I saw her hair like fling. Like it was like but it was like long blonde hair. And I saw it like brush and it was like she was wearing a dress. She was wearing socks.
And it like wisped behind her.
Yeah, and the hair was so long that it lingered for a while, ran straight into that room. I have never experienced that form of shock where I could not move, I could not breathe, I could not speak. Like I just like was still for a second. And then I like put all my pillows up next to me and just like went to sleep and acted like nothing happened. This was probably when I was like 15, 14. So like I was doing the Ouija board for like 3 years straight and nothing like things would happen, but I never actually physically saw something. Like things would fall off a shelf. A toilet would flush or like something like that would happen, but it was never like something I could see visibly. And I think after that, I like stopped completely. Like I was just like, never again.
And I've been experiencing stuff like this since I was so young. So has everyone in my family. My entire family is big believers in spirit and ghosts and energy, especially since my brother passed away when I was 14 and we've had signs from him ever since. And then my dad passed away as well. And I've seen lots of spirit and signs from him as well, including guitar picks absolutely everywhere that I go. But what do you guys think? Do you have any experiences with ghosts? I want to hear your ghost stories. Let me know down in the comments below. But that is it for me for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this little ghost stories episode. And as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly. You can catch my last video over here, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.